And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a very big game. I'm taking a look here at the deluxe version, although I've seen the normal version, and they both play the same, so the only difference here is pieces, of Wonderland's War. This is from Skybound Druid City Games. It is a big game in which you are playing one of the characters from Alice in Wonderland, and you're fighting all the other characters. Because if there's one thing I learned about Alice in Wonderland, is that despite what you may have read in the story, pretty much everything that's come from it in the future has been a big epic battle. I don't know why. I guess people just want to see the Wonderlarians fight. And fight they shall. In this game, you're going to be doing two very distinct different phases. It is what we call a bag building game or a pool building game, where you're throwing chips into a bag, pulling them out, pushing your luck. Let me show you. There's a lot going on in this game, so please do not use this video as a how to play video, but hopefully I can give you an idea of how the game plays. The game has several rounds, 3 rounds, and in each round there's 2 very distinctive phases. There's the tea party phase, in which players are going to be moving their characters around, collecting cards, and preparing for a battle phase where players are going to be having an area control fight over these 5 different areas. Each of these areas has some point totals put in them. So in the first round, whoever has the most there is going to get 4. Second round 4, but 12. While you can see this one is 2, 6, and 12. So they're going to go up in value, but each of the different areas will score different points, and you might want to control them for different reasons. But as I said, at the beginning of a round, before you do the fight, you're going to be doing this tea party. And so what players are doing is they're going to be taking their pieces and moving around here and stopping at a spot, taking that card and doing the different special abilities on the card, and then someone else will go, but they can't go to the same spot. Before we go any farther, we want to talk about the different characters. So there are various characters you can be. You can be the Cheshire Cat, you can be the Jabberwock, you can be the Mad Hatter, you could be Alice, and you can be the Queen of Hearts. Each of these characters will come with some castles of their color, some minions of their color. You have a whole player board here, and you're going to have a bag in which you're going to put your chips. You have a bunch of chips of your color. You're going to put 2 single madness chips, a double madness chip, and a yellow forge chip into your bag. And this bag is what you're going to be using when you fight in the area control. So you're going to be trying to make your bag better. There's various ways you can do that. As the game goes by, you'll be able to upgrade. Sometimes you'll take a card that shows an upgrade symbol on it, and you'll be able to upgrade, and these give you special abilities. As the game progresses, you have an opportunity to forge chips. This is a way kind of to take chips out of your bag. And when you forge chips, you're going to be placing them on one of these 4 rows here. So I might forge just chip here. This row will increase my leader's strength when I place my miniature out in a battlefield. They start at strength 1, but they can go all the way up and have a higher strength if you increase it over here. Here I can get rid of corruption. You have a certain number of minions that can go on the board. If you move on this track, you'll get more minions. And here your castles are worth more points at the end of the game. But also, as you put chips on these, if you get to the end, you get one of these 3-point chips of your own and get to throw those into the bag. Other cards might let you take a Wonderlarian card, and there's going to be some of them face up next to the board. These will either give you another miniature, which you'll be able to place on the board. Each miniature has a strength total and special abilities, or they'll give you a couple chips that you'll throw in your bag. When you pull these chips from the bag, you'll have the special ability shown here. There's also ally cards. At the beginning of the game, you're going to pick a set that you'll start with. So you're going to put out 5 ally cards, all from either A, this is the set A, or you can have B, C, or D. Each set has different special abilities, but they'll use these chips. There's 2 different values for each chip. So for example, the creatures are value 1 or value 5, and there's lots of chips for each of them. And when you take a card, it will tell you, like for example, this tells you to take a level 1 card soldier, and you'll throw that into your bag. You also notice on this card that it shows a quest. You'll be drawing quest cards over the course of the game. Quest cards have a feat on them, so if you ever do it, end a battle with exactly 2 or 6 active chips in the Meadow of the Living Flowers. If you do that exact thing, you fight in that area, and you have 2 or 6 chips, you'll see that in a bit, you can show this card and get 3 points. At the end of the game, you get 3 points if you've done this. And if you do both, you'll get an extra 3 victory points. So quest cards are another way to score victory points. Players are going to be moving around the board one after another, and again, you can go as far as you want, but the problem is every time you move around ahead of the table, you'll refill empty card slots, but you're also going to roll the corruption die and take that much corruption. Corruption is not a good thing. It's negative points at the end of the game, but also whoever has the most corruption at the end of a round, after the end of the Tea Party round, is going to get an extra madness chip thrown into their bag. At the end of every Tea Party round, everyone gets 1 madness chip, but whoever has the most corruption is going to get another one. They lose half their corruption, yay, but that's still not a good thing. Sometimes, and there's all kinds of things on these cards, sometimes it will say get rid of a corruption, but one thing that's important is this number at the top with the little meeples. That means you can put that many of your minions on the board in one location. So if I was the blue player and I took that card with 3, I'd be like, I'm going to put 3 people here in Tulgey Woods. So each player is going to take 4 of these cards per round, putting out the different people. Once you're done, you'll take your person off the board and put them in one of the spots, because remember, they have a strength. And then once everyone is done, you're going, one of these areas you're going to start with, it's going to be marked each round with a sword to show that that's the starting area that you fight in, and there's going to be a war in each realm. When there's a war in a realm, you're going to keep track of everybody's strength up here on the battle track. And when everyone is done, has been ejected, they've gone mad from battle, or someone reaches the end of the track, the round will end. If someone reaches the end of the track, they automatically win the battle. Other than that, whoever's the farthest on the track. So you're going to start with your skills on the track, so you will get 1 for each of your minions. The different special characters and stuff will give you points, and so players will start at various spots on the track. And only the characters who have at least 1 unit there will fight. The rest of the characters are going to put a wager secretly. So if I'm the Red Queen, I'll put this card down saying I think the Cheshire Cat's going to win. And if you wager incorrectly, you'll take some corruption, but if you're correct, you get a bonus, a benefit. You're going to be reaching into this bag one at a time, and players are going to put out their hand, and they're either going to reveal no chip in their hand, which means you're done for that battle. Your spot on the battle track is safe. You don't bust, and maybe you'll win. If everyone else busts, you'll be the only winner. If someone else wins, you might come in second, because second gets half the points at first, whatever. If you do reveal a chip, though, and you're pulling these chips randomly, this here is put on as active chips. You'll put all your active chips out here. That one will let me move, for example, up 3 on the battle track. And all kinds of things can happen. Like, for example, this card soldier, if I pulled one of them out, when I play it, I get to return an exhausted chip, a chip I used in a previous battle, back to my bag, or I can double this chip's strength. You get to decide which you're going to do. The problem is you might reveal a madness chip or a double madness chip. That's going to kill 1 or 2 of your units. It could be any of your units, one of your special units, your leader, your minions. But if you're out of units, you bust and are out of the battle. You cannot win. If you ever fill this track up with madness chips, they all get thrown back in the bag, as well as your exhausted chips, which means you might draw them again. You have a shield here, and there are different things that let you reactivate your shield. If you bust, it reactivates. You can use this to throw a madness chip back in the bag, but you might pull it out again. And I could go on and on. This is a big part of the game. There's all kinds of various chips that you'll pull out, special ability chips that you can use. If you have Tweedle's bow tie, for example, when you play it, if you have another active bow tie chip, you put 2 supporters in the region. But you're going to keep going until everyone busts, everyone passes, or someone reaches 25. The winner is going to score the points of the region, and they also get to put one of their castles in a region. Castles are good because they have victory points at the end of the game. They're going to be worth 3 victory points, but they can be worth more if you upgrade that track. And if you fight in this area in the future and you have one of your units in that spot, the castle will add 2 to your strength. Each person can only have 1 castle in each area, but it's a good way to get a lot of points. Also, if you end on the battle track on a spot that shows a forged symbol, or one of the chips you pull from your bag is one of those yellow forged chips, any chip that you used in that battle can be, including the forged chip itself, can be put on one of these tracks, which, as I showed you before, give you upgrades. That's the game. You're going to do battles in all 5 zones out here. Then you'll go back, you'll pull out some better cards for the second round that go around the tea table, then even better cards in the third round. And after the third round, you'll add the points from your castles, your endgame scoring bonus cards, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Okay, let's start here with the box. This might seem like a small thing, but it tells you how all the trays go and what goes in them. But it also has a nice hole cut down the side so that you can put everything in it. So here we have the bottom tray, and I dislike this. I know some people think this is cool, but having to put all the things in one at a time very slowly, I don't like that. But the cards and the art, okay, all the art and the cards and everything for this game is really fantastic. It's good quality. I especially like that for each of these the different special chip cards, there's A, B, C, and D cards to put next to the board, but then each player has their own reference card telling you how those grouping works. You don't need to look at these. The small little cards, there's symbology on all these cards, but I gotta say, we were able to understand the symbology pretty quickly. And then, of course, the other special cards that you're getting, the different characters and all, this stuff just looks fantastic. I really like the art. I like the quality. I also like the size of these cards. Although realize that size is an issue, this is a pretty giant game. Then we have the miniatures. So here you have all these little plastic miniatures of the different castles. The actual miniatures themselves for the different characters, these are nice miniatures, okay? There's no complaint about the miniatures, but I wonder if it would be better to use the standees or you have to get the miniatures painted, because I think when they're on the board, they're a little bit gray blobbier. And one thing I really wish this game had done was give me little rings, color rings for the bottom of them, so you know what player owns a different character. Because when you're looking across the board, you're going to see castles and you're going to see the different minions of each of the different players in an area, and I'll be like, oh, that's pink and red and blue are in that battle. Oh, wait, green's there too, because they have a couple special characters there. The bags for the game are nice. Easy to fit your hand into. The board is nice. You've already seen that. The biggest thing here are the chips. So the game comes with chips, and you may notice mine aren't punched out. That's because I upgraded my chips. And you have this box here, which actually fits barely in your box, but it has these chips. These plastic chips, and I'll tell you what, folks, these are amazing. I'll use these any day of the week over the punch-out ones. If anything, because I played games like Quacks of Quedlinburg where the chips wear out, so you know these are going to last longer. But whoa, these are so nice, these chips. And this thing here, this case for the chips, is really nice. It's easy to keep everything in place. You know, easy to pull the chips out from in here. I like that. And of course, it shows you here how they all go in. This is just great. Fantastic. So for me, Wonderland's War is one of those games that has gotten better as time goes by. Each time I've played it, I've enjoyed it a lot more. Now, there are a few small things that I would like to fix. I think the game is slightly longer than it needs to be. And to that end, I don't think I'll ever play it again with 5. I think 5 is just too long. 4 is a good player count. 3, after that, you know, I feel like you want to have a lot of different wars. So 3 or 4 is like a good player count for this. But man, there's 2 distinct halves of the game. Both are halves that I like. I really like the ratcheting phase where you can go as far around this circle as you want and take a card, and you're sitting there going, if I move that far, I'll get that card, but then I have to go by corruption. I don't want corruption. Alice, each character has a special ability. Alice goes the counterclockwise way around the circle. And so there's just all that stuff going on, and all the cards are cool. I want to pick this card because it lets me put extra people out on the board. The Red Queen might want to pick extra people out on the board because she can put people in different spots, not just the same spot. Do I want to get rid of corruption? Do I want to add different chips to my bag? Do I want chips nobody else has? If you know me, that's something that really attracts me, or having a character nobody else has. That stuff is really cool. That whole T phase is my favorite part of the game. But the area control is also fun because that is the bag pulling. Like you're pulling chips out of a bag, pushing your luck. The madness chips. Am I going to get a madness chip? I have a shield, so I don't care if I get a madness chip. I think I'm winning. Maybe I need to stop here. Or just seeing a bunch of chips come out in a row with a really good combo. You're on a forge space on that track. Do I stop there so that I can forge chips? What chips do I forge? Do I take a good chip out of my bag just so I can move up on those tracks? Which track do I go up on? You have lots of choices. The game has very asymmetrical characters. I'm not sure I'm loving the Jabberwock. The Jabberwock has these poison chips, which you get to throw in other people's bags and causes them damage. But that's not, to me, a particularly fun ability because it hurts other players. And I like abilities that help me, which can hurt other players. So just realize that in this game, they'll take that, and we didn't feel like their special abilities was as good, but maybe the meta would show something different. But I do like that not only do they have a main special ability that's different than everybody else, they also all look different, have different creatures, but then they have 4 upgradable special abilities that they can get that are different than the other players. And then even beyond that, when you buy those Wonderland cards, you have stuff nobody else has. When you buy chips, your bag is different than everyone else's. I think this is the best game that Druid City has put out. Yes, it's slightly overproduced, as their games tend to be. Yes, it's a humongous table presence. This is going to take up your entire table, which is another reason I think 5 players is a bit difficult, because trying to squish everyone around a table can be kind of hard. That 5th player is going to have a hard time seeing. But man, it does wonders to this theme. I mean, yes, the Alice in Wonderland theme, I think I've seen 3 more games announced about in the past 6 months. It's wide open game. Everyone wants to make games. But this is a very definitive one in that genre. It brings together a lot of things that I like. Like I said, building a pool, a bag of chips, something I enjoy. Pulling them out of there, pushing your luck, very much enjoy that. The ratcheting mechanism where you move around the tea party, I enjoyed that. The fact that I am distinctly different than every other player at the table, I like that. Area control and fighting to control different regions on the board, I enjoy that. Just all that stuff put together makes for a really great game. And since you have the A, B, C, D different chips, and the Wonderlands are going to come up in different orders, and the quest, every game's going to play out differently. A lot of replayability, a lot of fantastic stuff. Really enjoyed this one. I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent!